Alright. Hello, guys. It's me, and welcome to another live stream. And this is actually a special one today because, as you guys may or may not know, I've officially reached 20,000 subscribers. So, because of that, today is going to be a special live stream promoting 20,000 subscribers that I reached. So, yeah, this is going to be like a chill out stream. It could be anything. We could ask questions, talk about stuff, and yeah. So yeah, so I officially made it to 20,000 subscribers. Oh, hello, PBS Dash. Welcome to the stream. Alright. And maybe I might show you guys some stuff. I might show you some stuff I have, talk about stuff, we can ask questions, and yeah. And it's just a chill out stream. Just gonna chill here a little bit. In the meantime, I might show you guys some stuff. So yeah, guys, we officially made it. We officially reached the 20,000 subscriber milestone. So yeah, we'll just hang out here, just a chill out stream. And we'll just have some fun here. All right. I might as well guys show you some stuff while we're at it. All right, I'll be right back. All right. All right. So, if you guys haven't seen my other video about, you guys probably heard of these Uno add-on packs. Some of you guys may not know what Uno add-on packs are, but that's okay. These right here are Uno add-on packs. We got a stack pack, a reverse pack, a swap pack, and a speed pack. So about these add-on packs right here, this is what you use for the Uno game. And yeah, I know they are lit. And they're actually pretty cool, actually, not gonna lie. Hello, Jack. It's nice to have you here, Jack C, the Spider-Man No Way Home fan 2K9. Welcome to the stream. So yeah. So for the first part, on the first week, I got the stack pack and reverse pack. When I ordered these, this was the first half of packs that I got, the reverse and stack packs. And then the other week, then I got the other two, swap pack and speed pack. And yeah, I'm a huge Uno guy. Yeah, Uno's my favorite card game. I even have a collection of Uno games, which I'll eventually do a video showcasing my Uno collection, which also includes these right here. Yeah. And speaking of Uno, I'm actually planning on getting more variations. There was some Uno games I'm still planning to get. I was going to get Uno Flip Attack, though. I don't know when, but I'm planning on that. So stay tuned for that. So, so yeah. So, alright. And fun fact, Uno isn't the only game to have these kind of add-on packs, but Monopoly did something like this too. And they're actually called Monopoly expansions. And fun fact, I actually own some Monopoly board games, classic ones, electronic banking. And speaking of Monopoly, by the way, I'm actually planning on getting some other variations. Token Madness, and maybe I'll get some retro ones too. So yeah. And now here are some other things I want to show you guys. Oh, hello there, Romaine59. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Alex. Hello, Ashton. Welcome to the stream. All right, so next one. Now, I don't know if I think I showed you guys these. I actually got, yeah, I don't know if I did, but anyways, I also got more rare VHS tapes, and one of them is a demo tape. The first rare VHS tape I got is Teletubbies Blue Sky, one of the last Teletubby releases released on VHS. And I might probably do a VHS opening of this soon. Yeah, this is one of the rarest Teletubby tapes. The final VHS tape of Teletubbies. This was a VHS tape I was hoping to get. I also have a DVD release of this too. This wasn't easy to get, considering the prices were high. Yeah, same here, Alex. And then the next VHS tape, another rare one I got, and this time, this was another tape I was hoping to get. The Backyardigans, Surf's Up. The final Backyardigans tape on VHS. Well, almost. Well, maybe the last retail Backyardigans VHS tape, because somehow there was actually another one that was released in 2007, although it was only released a promotional copy only. And that would be The Legend of the Volcano Sisters. Yeah, a demo VHS release of Legend of the Volcano Sisters actually do exist, in case you guys didn't know that. And it's actually really hard to find, and a small number of people actually own that. Yeah, I used to watch Backyardigans when I was little too. That was one of my yeah. I Let me tell you something, guys. The Backyardigans was a huge part of my childhood. I used to watch that show on Nick Jr. when I was a kid, and I still enjoy the Backyardigans to this day. I even have some VHS tapes of them, which is, of course, this one, which is pretty rare, and I have Cave Party. I still need to get the other 3 VHS tapes. So yeah. And then for another dump VHS tape I had. Now this was a VHS tape. I actually did a VHS opening of this, and this is actually extremely rare. And yes, this is also a very rare one. And if you want to know, here it is. The demo VHS release of The Fox and the Hound 2. Yeah, you could probably tell this is rare. The cover of this is kind of different because in the actual DVD release, it had a more different color. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Also, thank you. Thank you so much, Brandon. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, you probably can tell this is a demo tape because, yeah, you see this right here? Box art may vary. Full-length screen for video retailers only. Yeah, this is also one of the 2 Disney direct-to-video sequels to not have a retail VHS counterpart. This VHS release was only promotional only. There was no retail counterpart. The same can be said for Cinderella 3: A Twist in Time. And that's a VHS release I was planning to get it too. I'm not too sure, Alex, but that's going to be a while before that happens. But I could probably do a 25,000 or 30,000 subscriber live stream. So yes, TVM won the rap battle over Billy. Oh, that's cool. And speaking of Vincent, by the way, I also heard about the new music video. I just saw the new music video, and it's been a while since Vincent has done a music video with his brother. Yes, I do. I do have Thomas VHS and DVDs, actually. I even have rare VHS tapes too. Yeah, I have DVDs. Oh, and speaking of Thomas DVDs, I not just have American DVDs, but I actually own a couple international DVDs, like one from the UK, for example. Yeah, same here, Jack. Thomas was my childhood as well. So yeah, as I was saying with this VHS release, yeah, this was one of those rare Disney VHS tapes. Probably one of the final last ones released. Well, this isn't the last VHS release because there was actually a couple more after that. Yeah. Yeah, same here, Brandon. I actually remember watching that film when I was young. Speaking of that, there was a lot of Disney films I grew up with as a kid. Oh, and yeah, guys, this is not the only demo tape I have. I also have 2 other demo tapes, Air Buddies and Jakers. Yeah, that's like the only demo tapes I own so far. And I'll. So yeah, guys, I'm planning to get more demo tapes soon, but it's not going to be easy though, considering that rare VHS tapes like this, what I showed you earlier, is not easy to find, and the price is really big. So yeah, you could probably tell this was, yeah, you can probably tell this is extremely rare because, yeah. So whenever you see demo tapes, you'll see direct pre-book, distributor pre-book, and then North America release date. And for pre-book, that's technically print date. I think that's print date, yeah. And then that's, and then that's, and then that's when that's when the movie came out. That's also the same day Air Buddies came out too. The same can be said for the demo VHS. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know if I said this before, but I am a VHS enthusiast indeed. I'm a really huge VHS collector. Same with DVDs as well. And there are some other VHSs I plan to collect soon. And I also, oh, let me tell you guys something. And in a few more days, I also heard the new Switch 2 console launches. You, oh, you're a DVD and Blu-ray collector? That's nice. I'm a DVD collector too, and sometimes I'll collect Blu-rays too. I do have a few Blu-rays. I think I still own a Blu-ray player actually. But I did hear there's portable Blu-ray players. Same can be said for portable VHS players. Yeah, yeah, guys, absolutely no joke. VHS portable VHS players actually do exist. And I was actually planning to get a portable VHS player, but the prices were kind of high, and I'll probably save money before I can even get one. But if I ever own a portable VHS player, that would be amazing. And maybe a portable Blu-ray player too. Which I do have. I do have two portable DVD players, by the way. One is a Wani, and the other is DP Power. So yeah. And what else do I want to show? Oh, and speaking of the Switch 2, guys, also on that same day, Phineas and Ferb Season 5 premieres. I did see the preview of it recently, and I don't know. And Part 2 isn't out yet. It's just an extended preview, guys. That's just a preview for the new season. And I was actually hyped for the new season of Phineas and Ferb. In fact, Phineas and Ferb was one of my favorite shows on Disney Channel as a kid growing up. And I was literally this excited when I heard season 5 was coming out. Yeah, that's like almost 10 years since its original run, ever since their final episode aired on June 12th of 2015 with Last Day of Summer, the last episode of the original run. And Mario Kart World also comes out on that day too. And I am actually really excited to get the Switch 2 when it comes out. Same with Mario Kart World. And I bet the Switch 2 is probably going to be even expensive than the Switch OLED model. Yeah, no joke. It's going to be, I probably assume it's going to be really, really expensive. Mainly because of the new features like the video camera, about the game chat. And speaking of game chat, Nintendo Switch Online also released GameCube controllers. But unlike the Nintendo 64, NES, and SNES controllers, as well as the Sega Genesis controllers by Switch Online, the Switch Online gaming controllers actually have a chat button, and they're only exclusive for Switch 2. It doesn't work on the original Switch, unfortunately. But I will, guys, tell you one thing. The Switch 1 Joy-Cons and the Switch 1 Pro controllers are actually going to be connectable for the Switch 2. Yeah, you can, because I heard that not only you can just use Switch 2 Joy-Cons or Switch 2 controllers, Pro controllers, but I've been hearing that you can also now use Switch 1 Pro controllers and Switch 1 Joy-Cons for the console too. And speaking of the GameCube I mentioned seconds ago, I'm planning to get more GameCube controllers actually, in addition to a second GameCube port adapter for the Switch, which I also assume is also connectable for the Switch 2 as well. Yeah, pretty much a lot of Switch games have GameCube support. Yeah, you guys remember back in the day? You guys probably remember that the original Wii model had a GameCube controller ports, and they were also backwards compatible with GameCube games. And there was even Wii games that support that method, actually. Like take Mario Kart Wii or Sonic Colors, for example, since they support GameCube controllers, alongside the Wii Classic controllers. And as I did a video of showcasing my Wii collection, my Wii remote collection, which includes the Wii remotes, classic controllers, and controller pros, as well as additional ones. So yeah, I'm planning to get more GameCube controllers soon. So yeah. I don't know what else I want to talk about. I'm thinking. Oh, and I don't know if you guys knew this already, but this year officially marks the 85th anniversary of McDonald's. Yeah, I know it was many days ago, but it's still promoting it this year. This year officially marks the 85th anniversary of McDonald's. Yeah. Although the corporation that started in 1955 celebrated 70 years in April of said year. But then the following month, then we get our 85th anniversary. I know this sounds a little confusing, but yeah. So for McDonald's in general, it was founded in 1940, and then when it came to McDonald's Corporation, it started in 1955. Yeah, same here, Jack. Yeah, in case you guys didn't know this, I'm a huge McDonald's person. Yeah, I'm a massive McDonald's person. I especially love their French fries they have there. Man, I cannot get enough of those French fries. They're so good. Yeah, that's true, Alex. I'm no longer a teenager. So yeah, for April it marked April of this year marked the 70th anniversary of McDonald's Corporation, and then this month of this year is the 85th anniversary of McDonald's in general. So yeah. And speaking of McDonald's, guys, do you guys remember back when, if you grew up, do you guys remember those old McDonald's locations with that red roof and those yellow gutters around it that people like to call them French fries? And the brick walls were white. Remember those old locations with that classic red roof design? Because I do, actually, since my McDonald's actually used to have that. And I used to stop by a couple of them that had that design, even though a lot of them got remodeled. And not gonna lie, I actually do miss the classic design. Although there is still some that have that design to this day. But just to warn you guys, the red roof designs are starting to phase out quickly, either getting demolished, remodeled, or abandoned. Yeah, it sucks. I know. It's sad when it gets abandoned or demolished. And yeah, and I actually went by abandoned McDonald's before. Yeah, it's pretty sad to see a McDonald's go demolished or abandoned. But don't worry, this doesn't happen to every location since they choose to remodel it. But overall, McDonald's is still my favorite restaurant. So yeah. And what else I grew up about McDonald's was their play place, actually. Not gonna lie, I actually grew up. Yeah, you guys remember those play places McDonald's used to have? Although they still exist though. But remember those older ones, those retro-like play places? Remember those guys, those older ones? Because I remember going into one as a kid actually, and going down the slides were so. Yeah, I miss good times. Those were the good times. I really miss those older play places. Well, actually, funny enough, guys, some McDonald's locations that got remodeled actually still have the retro play place kept intact, while other times the remodeled McDonald's play places have a more modern design of a play place playground. Yeah, some McDonald's locations may have a weird design. But of course, there was the world's largest McDonald's in Orlando, Florida. So yeah, the one in Orlando. Yeah, and I actually plan on going to the world's largest McDonald's because I think I don't know if you guys been there before, but they have pizza there. Yeah, they actually still have pizza. They even have an arcade area. Yeah, it's huge. That's like the world's. That's like the largest McDonald's in the world right now. And back then, before it got remodeled, it was actually still the red roof design. But then when it came to the modern era, that's when probably around the mid or late 2010s, I think, either between the mid and late 2010s, that's when they fully remodeled the restaurant. But this time it's larger. Yeah. Yeah, McDonald's actually used to have pizza back in the day. back in 1982, and then they just went out in 1999. But luckily, the world's largest McDonald's still has pizza to this day. Same with pasta. And man, if I ever go to the world's largest McDonald's, I would love to try their pizza there. And speaking of pizza, by the way, I also do love Pizza Hut as well. I did have Pizza Hut recently, and it was pretty good though. I'm actually looking forward to it. Yeah, I actually love Pizza Hut. My area used to have a Pizza Hut, but somehow it was kind of gone. It just went discontinued, and then it changed to something else. Yeah, I know. And about that, it also retained that red roof. Those Pizza Hut locations with that red roof, based off of their logo they have on there. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of the logo of Pizza Hut, back in 2019, they brought back the older one from the 70s. And it's now their cooperative logo since 2019, ever since that year. Although there's still locations that use other logos, but since then, yeah, remember those older Pizza Hut logos? Like the 70s one? Although it originally went discontinued around 1999 when they rebranded it. But then, all of a sudden, it just came back in 2019. And it's now their main logo again. It's like going back in the 70s. Like going back in the older days. But of course, it would kind of modify a little bit, though. And I also had Domino's as well. And I do like Domino's pizza as well. It was pretty good. I was actually planning on... haven't had Domino's as much. I don't know if I think I had like one time. I don't remember, though. Or was it 2 times? I don't remember, though. But yeah, Domino's pizza was really good. And although the logo is now just called Domino's, but most people still call it Domino's Pizza to this day. So yeah. And funny enough, Domino's Pizza... Wait, or was it Pizza Hut? Yeah, Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut even has French fries. Yeah, they even have French fries at Pizza Hut, which I actually didn't know about. I was honestly shocked when I heard Pizza Hut has French fries. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And I don't think I had fries at Pizza Hut before. Although, if I ever go to Pizza Hut again, I would like to try their fries. That's only if they still have it, though. I'm not sure, though, but yeah. All right. And what else do I want to talk about? I'm thinking about it. Let me go ahead and get some stuff. I might want to show you guys something else. Alright. Now, although I already showed you Teletubbies Blue Sky on VHS, but then here's what the DVD release looks like. And yes, I know the cover looks a little messed up. Especially, looks kind of, it's kind of scrapped a little bit. But the disc is working fine, though. And there's also a difference between these two. So, you guys see the difference? They're the same cover, but on the VHS version, it has dash, but then the DVD version has dot. But then if you flip over to the back, on the VHS release, it has dot, and then the back of it has dash. Yeah. It may look identical. It's identical, although the logos are different. They're just swapped on the back of each cover. And speaking of Teletubbies, guys, And yes, this actually do exist, but I even have the complete series of all 365 episodes of the original series on DVD. And shockingly, it came into 14 DVD releases. Yeah, kind of crazy though. It likely depends on the production order of the episodes. I think the reason why they had to divide it into excuse me. I think the reason why they had to divide it into 40 seasons. Well, no. Oh, darn it! No, not 40. I meant 14. Sorry. My bad. I meant to say 14. But the reason why they had to make it 14 DVDs probably because this had many episodes. Now for the reboot, there was 120 episodes. Not as much as the original, but still a lot. And I even owned a couple Teletubby tapes as a kid. I had Dance with the Teletubbies and Nursery Rhymes. And I actually remember seeing the PBS Pals logo on there. This was back before Dash and Dot even existed. Yeah, remember? Yeah, you guys remember those mascots? This was before Dash and Dot came around in 1999. They were called the Pals. Remember those characters that usually appear? This was yeah. So, yeah. The only VHS tapes I owned as a kid of Teletubbies were they were basically like Dance with Tubby, Dance with Teletubbies and Nursery Rhymes, and then I got some more tapes. Years went by. I then got Favorite Things and Here Come the Teletubbies, one of the first whole media releases to have that. And I'm thinking about something. And then there was also, and then I don't think I owned. I'm thinking about it. Oh, and yeah, Here Come the Teletubbies and Dance with the Teletubbies actually used the Rice Krispies PBS funding before the start of the show and after the Pals logo. And speaking of PBS fundings, by the way, yeah, unfortunately, I think a lot of you may already heard of this, but the PBS fundings had to be cut, unfortunately. Yeah, the fundings are now cut. They're no longer being featured. Which is really a bummer, by the way, considering that I actually grew up with the fundings they used to have. It was actually, yeah, I especially remember those classic bumpers I grew up with. Yeah, you guys remember those Chuck E. Cheese's bumpers? Remember those? Remember those Chuck E. Cheese fundings that used to be featured on PBS Kids? Remember those? Yeah, I remember those. Where they would say Chuck E. Cheese's proud supporter of PBS Kids. Yeah, remember those classic ones? I even had a VHS tapes with those. A couple of them, actually. It's kind of sucks that the fundings had to be cut. Yeah, I really miss the PBS fundings. I bet there was a reason why they had to do that. But hopefully one day they'll bring back the PBS fundings. Yeah, I really miss it though. But yeah. Ugh. So yeah, I'm planning to get more VHS tapes soon. Those rare ones. And I was going to get those. I forgot what they are called. Yeah, I was going to get more rare VHS tapes soon. And possibly more demo tapes too. Although I don't usually get much demo tapes since I only have a couple of those. 3 of them that I own now. 2 being Disney and 1 from Paramount. And that's another thing, actually. Back from 1998 to 2004, Teletubby home media releases were owned by Warner Home Video, and then later on Paramount would. And then from 2004 to 2007, Paramount would own the rights to the releases. Paramount Home Entertainment would distribute them. There are still some Teletubby VHS tapes I plan to get. Same with DVD releases. And maybe promotional tapes too. And yeah, guys, stay tuned for more VHS openings. I don't know when the next one will be, but stay tuned for that. So yeah, I'll still plan on doing more VHS openings. And I'll probably get more Nick Jr. VHS tapes too. I know I do have the VHS release of Go Diego Go Saves Christmas and Wolf Pup Rescue, but I still need the Great Dinosaur Rescue on VHS as well. And then maybe I'll probably get some Dora VHS tapes too. I don't think I owned any Dora VHS tapes, but I do own 2 Go Diego Go VHS tapes. Yeah, I do have the DVD release of Great Dinosaur Rescue, by the way. I'm not sure when I'll get those VHS tapes, but I'll come for it whenever I get the chance, since I'm usually busy with stuff. And there's also some other things I'll plan to get soon. And in addition to VHS tapes, I'll probably get more fan-made home media releases too. Yeah, no joke. eBay even has some fan-made home media releases too, which I'm planning to get as well. And I'll probably get more Blu-rays too. I'm not sure when, but I might do it recently, but stay tuned for that. Let's see what else I want to talk about. And yeah, May's almost over, guys. Okay, so tomorrow's the 30th, then Saturday. Okay, so Sunday's the first day of June. Because after Saturday, then tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, Sunday will be the first day of June. And yeah, this is where summer starts to come around. And the temperatures also rise. I know it gets hot when the temperatures start to rise. Although the temperatures aren't rising too much right now, but it's kind of chilly, kind of cool outside right now. Yeah. So yeah. Now I'm still thinking on. Okay. All right. And I know I'm still planning on doing a logo intro blooper series of my own. I'm still planning on doing that series, guys, but I don't know when. I'm still thinking about it. It's still in production, but it's probably going to take a while before that happens. I'll probably make an intro and outro for it. Yeah. And then there'll be some VHS openings, DVD openings. Yeah, stay tuned for all that. And still thinking on what I should do next. So yeah, guys, about those. So yeah, I know I showed these already, but about these Uno packs, if you guys haven't seen that video where I showcase my Uno packs, to those who haven't seen it yet, but there's also new cards with this. Starting off with the stack pack, these new cards include stack 1, stack 2, stack 3, and stack a mystery number of cards. Yeah. And then for reverse pack, this includes, sorry if this is a little blurry, but It's hard to tell. But I do know one of them is skip reverse. It's hard to tell. I'm sorry if the quality's blurry a little bit, but yeah, some of these wild cards are really wild indeed and pretty intense, which can make this Uno game more challenging now that I have these add-on packs. Which I do have regular Uno, by the way. Not just the modern one, but I have retro ones too. And then swap pack. Some of these is like the shuffle cards, swap hands, like in later editions. Okay, there. I think it's swap one card, and then I know it's kind of hard to tell, considering this is blurry. Unfortunately, the camera quality is like this, sadly. But hopefully, one day I'll probably get a special camera, more 4K quality like one, more higher resolution. I'm afraid it's just gonna have to be like this right now. But yeah, here are the wild cards for the action for this pack. And finally, the speed pack. Now, this one is a lot different. Unlike the other packs, there's only 2 action cards. That's speed up, and then I think does it say speed up? Let me read it. Okay, yeah. Speed up and 2 speed up. Yeah, it's basically just a faster version of the regular cards, but with so technically so yeah, these are these so yeah. So yeah, these are the add-on packs right here. These were kind of hard to get in early production. I basically got these packs pretty early, although I plan on getting a Uno tin, a game tin that comes with regular Uno and these two. Not these two, but these right here. There's actually an Uno game. Well, it's still regular Uno, but also adds in these two stack and reverse packs. I might probably get those once I find a chance. So yeah. And I wonder what else I want to talk about. And then there was also... Oh yeah, GameCube controllers. I guys can show you those GameCube controllers. All right, I'm back. And so here's the GameCube controller right here. And I not just have regular ones, but I even have a Switch version as well. Same color, but there's a difference between these two. Same buttons, but the Switch version has additional buttons, including the home button, screen capture, and these 2 extra buttons right here. Yes, Nintendo Switch actually made their own game controllers, in addition to using standard ones for platforms. And I'm actually going to plan to get more GameCube controllers soon. So yeah, you can guys see the difference between a Switch version and regular. Yeah, they're identical, but the buttons were added on the Switch version that never made it to the original controller. And I not just have wired controllers, but But I also have wireless controllers too, with also a switch. It's not working right now. I don't have the batteries in it yet, but so yeah, these are these are the main color. This is an indigo color one. This is the main color of GameCube controllers, the default color. Yeah, it has a little switch, and when you press that, oh, hold on, press that, that's when it will go on, and then you can just switch it right off. And speaking of game controllers, I'm actually planning on doing, once I get more GameCube controllers, I might probably do a collection of them, which also includes the Nintendo Switch controllers. And speaking of game controllers, yeah, I already said this before, but I might also plan on getting the Nintendo Switch Online. Excuse me. I'm also going to get the Nintendo Switch 2 online game controllers as well. So stay tuned for that. All right, let me go ahead and put this back. So yeah. About the GameCube controllers, man, GameCube controllers have gone way popular. They've been released many times, which is also why the Wii, the original model of the Wii console, had backwards compatibility of using GameCube. And now the Switch does it too. And this is also going to happen for the Switch 2 as well. Plus, and yeah, GameCube is actually one of my favorite Nintendo consoles, next to the Wii and the Nintendo Switch itself. Although, if I had to choose which one is my favorite one out of the three, it would definitely be the Wii. I mean, I used to play a lot of games on the Wii when I was a kid. I had Wii Sports, Mario Kart Wii, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, etc. Yeah. And speaking of Mario Kart Wii, I actually owned some Kinect sets when I was a kid too. Like, you guys remember those Mario Kinect sets? Whether it's Mario Kart series or Super Mario series. Remember those? Yeah, remember those Kinect sets? Yeah, you guys remember those Kinect sets they used to have back in the day? Mario Kinect sets. They're like these. They come in figures, and they also have some like sets. Right. Whether it's the Super Mario series or the Mario Kart Wii series, or 7 or Mario Kart 8. Yeah, they have Mario Kart 8 sets too, but not much. Same can be said for Mario Kart 7. And Mario Kart 7 was actually the first Mario game I played on the 3DS, the first 3DS game I actually played. And I actually used to own a 3DS, a red color one. And yes, it was a standard 3DS. It wasn't new Nintendo 3DS or anything like that. But I do have a 2DS actually, and it's a blue one. And there were some other games I grew up playing on the 3DS, such as New Super Mario Bros. 2, the Angry Birds trilogy, etc. And speaking of Angry Birds, I actually grew up playing that game when I was younger. I played the standard version, then I played Seasons, Rio, Space, Star Wars. Yeah, you guys remember those classic Angry Birds games? There was also crossovers like Angry Birds Rio to promote the film of the same name, based off of the Blue Sky Studios movie Rio, which I grew up, by the way. And I also have the sequel Rio 2 as well. And I also heard there's a third one coming in development. There's also plans to be a third one, although nothing much has been said about that right now. And speaking of Blue Sky Studios, now yes, I already know it was already shut down in 2021, but funny enough, they're still kind of making projects even without Blue Sky Studios. I mean, we had like, because I've heard there's going to be an Ice Age 6 coming out, which is going to be like the first Ice Age movie to not be owned by Blue Sky Studios. Yeah, the first main installment since Collision Course, Ice Age 5. And I even had a VHS of the first Ice Age when I was young. And there's also said to be a VHS release of the second movie, The Meltdown, as well, but it was only released internationally. There was no American release of it. Although there was an Italian VHS release of Ice Age 2, The Meltdown. And I wonder what else. Some other movies I grew up in Blue Sky Studios. I know Ice Age in Rio was one of them, and I think there was another one. I probably don't remember. Yeah, Blue Sky Studios was basically shut down 2 years after Master of Disguise. Pretty much after Masters of Disguise. But somehow, some projects were still being made based off of the company. They still made installments even after Blue Sky shut down, which, yeah. And of course, there was Adventures of Buck Wild, and I know a lot of people don't like the film. And I know, yeah, about Adventures of Buck Wild, yeah, I understand why many people don't like the film. And yeah, I understand that. I mean, that's like the first installment, not to be with Blue Sky. Now, I can handle their opinions on that movie, actually. I know this is kind of unpopular, but I'm actually okay with it. Sorry to the many people who hate Adventures of Buckwild, but to any of you out there who hate Adventures of Buckwild, I can handle your opinion. I'm actually okay with it. Thoughts handled if you guys hate it. I'm actually fine with it. Sorry to the many people who hate it, but opinion handled back if you hate it. But also in that same year, there was also Scrat Tales, which came out, which, funny enough, I think it was produced by Blue Sky, even after. Yeah, who knows? I think it. I mean, Adventures of Buckwild and Scrat Tales both came out in 2022. And I actually seen episodes of Scrat Tales. And there is going to be Ice Age 6, though. Now, funny enough, there's people say that Adventures of Buckwild claim is basically Ice Age 6, but that's kind of weird because we're actually getting an actual Ice Age 6, which other people like to refer that as Ice Age 7. I really don't get it though, because that's kind of sounds pretty off, considering that Adventures of Buckwild is a spin-off film, which I don't consider it as Ice Age 6, because the real Ice Age 6 is coming out soon. That's the real Ice Age 6. But Buckwild, I don't know why it's considered sometimes as Ice Age 6, even though that's a spin-off film. But overall, I am kind of excited for Ice Age 6. But if you guys, yeah, I am kind of looking forward to the new Ice Age film. But if you guys don't like it, that's fine. Opinions are handled. And speaking of sequels, I'm also looking forward to. Oh yeah, there's Zootopia 2 that's coming out this year, which I'm definitely looking forward to that. We got more months. We got more months till that comes out. And then there's Toy Story 5, which yeah, I'm actually looking forward to Toy Story 5, but once again, thoughts are handled if you don't like the upcoming Toy Story 5 movie. If you guys don't like the upcoming Toy Story 5, opinions are handled. So yeah. Oh yeah, and this year is also the 30th anniversary of Toy Story. Ever since their first movie came out in 1995, which is also the first Pixar Animation Studios movie. Yeah, this year is the 30th anniversary of Toy Story. Toy Story officially turns 30 years old. And outside of movies, I even watched some of their television specials. Toy Story of Terror and That Time Forgot. And then I also watched Toy Story Tunes. Yeah, I actually used to watch their Toy Story Tunes as well as their two specials, but I kind of saw Tower. Well, no. I mean Toy Story of Terror. Yeah, and I actually have all four movies on DVD. Well, it's not going to be all of them now since we're getting a Toy Story 5. And I also have Toy Story of Terror and That Time Forgot on DVD. So yeah, to anyone who doesn't like Toy Story 5, to those who don't like the upcoming movie, your opinions are handled. So yeah, and yeah, all right. Some other Pixar movies I grew up were Finding Nemo, Monsters Inc., Wally, Up, Inside Out, and yeah. And many months ago, I recently just saw Inside Out 2. And I also heard there's now a spin off series called Dream Productions, which I haven't seen yet. I got to get to that actually. So yeah, yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah, and then there was Finding Dory. There was Finding Dory as well. Another great film that I enjoyed. Another film I enjoyed. Yeah. And oh yeah, I also saw Monsters at Work. Oh, and Monsters University as well. I actually saw Monsters University and Monsters at Work as well. And I have heard there was their recent season, the second season that came out like almost last year now. Ever since their first season from 2021. And I'm not sure if there'll be a third season or not. Who even knows if there'll be a third season? So yeah. All right. I'm not sure what I should do next. Still thinking. Because I was going to show you some other things I have here. Let me go ahead and take a look here. And check out what I got here. I even have a 4 movie collection of Indiana Jones, which includes all four. Well, not all of them. It includes 4 movies: Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, The Last Crusade, and it also has, how do I say that? The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And fun fact, I even actually used to play their game Lego Indiana Jones: The Original Adventures on the DS when I was a kid. And I actually have the Wii version currently, which I've been recently playing that. And there was also this film called Dial of Destiny. Oh wait, yes, I have all the films on DVD, but it just doesn't have a 5 movie collection yet. But I do have Dial of Destiny on DVD. But yeah, about that, I actually played the DS version of Lego Indiana Jones: The Original Adventures when I was a kid, and I now just got the Wii version that I recently played. Some other Lego video games I'm still planning to get is probably Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. I was also planning to get the Skywalker Saga for the Switch too. I'm planning to do that real soon. I don't know when, but I'll get to that. All right, and then still thinking. So, what are some other things I want to talk about here? Oh, yeah, about Star Wars. I actually had Lego Star Wars, the video game, and the original trilogy on the GameCube, which I actually still have though. But they're just in discs. I can't find the cases to them though. And I actually do have a GameCube console myself. So yeah. Yeah, and I actually used to own a GameCube when I was young. It was a different color actually, although I didn't have it, but nowadays I got a GameCube console. I got a new one this time. Yeah. I used to play Lego Star Wars on the GameCube when I was younger. Most of the time it was original trilogy. I did play the Lego Star Wars video game on the GameCube too, but a lot of the times I played the original trilogy on that GameCube. And I even had a PlayStation 2 release of said game too. Which funny enough, I actually owned a PlayStation 2 as a kid. Yeah, the PlayStation 2 console. And speaking of PlayStation 2, by the way, I think this year officially marks the. Let me see. Let me count. Oh, yeah. This year also marks the 25th anniversary of PlayStation 2. Yeah. And then next year in 2026 will also be the 20th anniversary of PlayStation 3. Yeah. So this year is the 25th anniversary of PlayStation 2, and then next year in 2026 will be the 20th anniversary of PlayStation 3. And fun fact about the PlayStation 3, though, it was developed by Sony, the same company that developed Blu-ray. Which, fun fact, since Sony both developed Blu-ray and PlayStation 3, this is also why PlayStation 3 has ability to play Blu-ray movies. And Sony doesn't just own Blu-ray and PlayStation, but it also developed Betamax, which is now discontinued. Yeah, Betamax. Yeah. Now Betamax did have a higher quality, higher resolution compared to VHS, but however, Betamax kind of phased out already, and then VHS won over Betamax. Although recorders were still being made until around the early 2000s, even though most companies stopped making its releases pretty much around the 80s. But some, like Disney and Paramount, kept making Betamax releases until around the 1990s. And speaking of VHS, by the way, I've been hearing that since this decade, since we're now halfway through this decade, that VHS was going to make a comeback, and there has been some promotional VHS releases recently. So VHS collecting has started to become a comeback recently. Now, and yes, as I said before, I am going to get more VHS releases soon, including some rare and even demo tapes, which is probably going to take a while before I get to that. Especially since demo tapes are really hard to find. Especially this one right here. This is like one of the VHS tapes to only be released as a promotional. Yeah, this is a VHS release, but unlike most of it, this does not have a retail counterpart. This was promotional. This is only as a promotional only. And that's not the only release to have this manner. Air Buddies and Cinderella 3 Twist in Time does this as well. Although I do have the VHS releases of the first Cinderella movie, as well as Cinderella 2 Dreams Come True. And I even have DVD releases of said films, including the DVD release of Twist in Time. And yeah, there was also a VHS release of the Pixar movie Cars, which was like one of the last Disney VHS tapes. Yeah, considering the VHS release of Cars is like very rare and hard to find. Although there is copies of it on eBay, but you do not want to know how large the prices are. Like in the thousands. They're like, I'm talking this expensive. Like pretty much in the hundreds and thousands. Yeah, really expensive. And pretty rare if you ask me. It's not easy though, considering it's one of the last Disney VHS tapes from the era. Mainly before Disney stopped making VHS tapes after that. Basically, from 2006 to 2007, Disney VHS tapes were only Disney Movie Club. For Bambi 2, fun fact, that's actually one of my favorite Disney direct-to-video sequels, by the way. Yeah, Bambi 2 is my favorite Disney direct-to-video sequel. That's the last Disney movie, the last non-Disney Movie Club release. This is the last main release, VHS release. The last VHS release to not be a Disney Movie Club exclusive. But despite all that, Disney decided to continue making VHS releases, but only for Disney Movie Club exclusives. Examples like Chicken Little, some of its direct-to-video sequels, like Brother Bear 2, and they even did Disney Movie Club even did some VHS re-releases of previous films, like Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, as well as Lady and the Tramp, the 50th Anniversary Edition. They even did a re-release of The Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure, which also had a Disney Movie Club VHS release, which was re-released a couple of years later. Yeah, I am a huge VHS collector indeed. I mean, I had lots of VHS tapes. I had Thomas tapes, Disney tapes, Warner Brothers tapes, Paramount tapes, and even Universal tapes. Yeah. And sometimes VHS tapes are always... There's also other color VHS tapes, besides just black, because I know a lot of VHS tapes are colored black. A lot of them are. But sometimes, like, take Nickelodeon, for example. Remember how Nickelodeon tapes used to be orange? Remember those orange Nickelodeon tapes? Those orange VHS tapes? No, not all of them were. Some they used their default. Well, not all Nickelodeon tapes were orange, since there was also black, their default color VHS tapes. And there was even a blue VHS tape for Blue's Big Musical. Yeah, there was even... Yeah. Sometimes they get color VHS tapes based off of their brand. Sometimes. And there's also white VHS tapes as well. Yeah, VHS tapes aren't always the default color, which black is the default color of the VHS tapes. Because back in the old days of Nickelodeon, when they started making VHS tapes, they were orange. But then they started to phase out around the around the 2000s, which was probably around the time Nickelodeon started to phase out making VHS tapes. Probably around between 2006 and 2007. Well, Go Diego Go Saves Christmas was technically the last Nick Jr. VHS release for retail counterparts. And then Wonder Pets Save the Wonder Pets was the last Nick Jr. VHS release for promotional counterparts. And that's like one of the Nick Jr. VHS releases to not have a retail counterpart. And that's another thing. I'm planning on getting that as well. But like the other promotional tapes, it's not easy. It's pricey and pretty expensive and hard to find. And speaking of Fox and the Hound 2, as you guys may already know, I already did a VHS opening of that. And I even did a VHS opening of Air Buddies as well. But I'll eventually get to retail VHS openings soon. And then I'll probably do DVD openings as well whenever I get the chance. So yeah. And I had lots of DVDs as well. I had a majority of DVDs. I had Disney DVDs, I actually had a bunch of Warner Brothers DVDs. I had Charlie Brown DVDs, Wiggles DVDs. Yeah. Yeah, I had a bunch of DVD releases. I may have owned a couple Warner Brothers tapes, but I definitely owned a bunch of Warner Brothers DVDs, Warner Home Video DVDs. And speaking of Warner Home Video, well, it's actually now called Warner Brothers Home Entertainment, but I heard there's going to be a new on-screen logo. I just saw the new on-screen logo, but I don't know if that's the main. I think that's going to be the new main logo. I don't know. It's kind of based off of the current movie logo counterpart. There was also claims to be as a de facto, but it's actually got their own, although there's no banner in it. Although the 2017 logo is kind of still in use right now. Well, that is until we get this new logo. There hasn't been a full release. The full logo hasn't been shown yet. But I did see the new Warner Brothers Home Entertainment logo. And I don't know if it will... I'm not sure if it will have the same fanfare from the 2017 logo, or it will probably use the current movie logo fanfare. Technically, I think it is... Yeah. Yeah. Who even knows yet? But the logo's already revealed, though, but I don't know what the audio will be for yet. I'm not sure if it's going to be the same audio from the 2017 logo, or it's going to be the audio from the current movie logo. And speaking of the new fanfare for the Warner Brothers Picture logo, it's like based off of the 1999 fanfare, except it's reorchestrated. It sounds much more like the 1999 fanfare, but it's much more bombastic and more reorchestrated. And not gonna lie, I actually do like the new fanfare, by the way. And speaking of that, that new logo even brought back the banner, like the classic Warner Bros. Logos they used to have. Those classic WB logos with the banner saying Warner Bros. Pictures on it. Now, back then, when Warner Brothers started in the 1920s, there were no banner yet. It was just the shield only. And Warner Bros. Wouldn't have a banner for their logos until 1937. And since then, banners and logos would change over time. Although when it came to 1970, the banners were, well, yeah. Although classic logos did come back in the 80s, and then nowadays, yeah. But then in 2020 and 2021, they did remove the banner as to promote the new 2019 WB Shield logo. But after that, since the mid 2020s, now they brought back a more classic, still the same design, but now it has the banner resembling the classic, which almost resembles the 1998 logo. So yeah. So about the new Warner Brothers Home Entertainment logo that I recently just saw, it looks kind of promising. Although there's no banner though, but it looks kind of promising though. And I do like the cloud background. I mean, it almost resembles the older Warner Home Video logo, since the sky background in the new movie logo looks pretty more realistic, like something they would have for Warner Home Video. But I don't know if the fanfare will be the same or it will be a new fanfare. Probably a fanfare based off of the movie counterpart. Who even knows? But nonetheless, from the looks of the new logo, despite no banner on the shield, but I mean, it does look kind of promising though. Yeah. And I'll see what it looks like. Well, the logo looks kind of decent as far as I know. But then I'll see what the fanfare is. Either I don't know if it's a new fanfare or the same fanfare from before. We'll just have to find out. But I did hear the 2017 logo is still being used for. Well, right now the 2017 logo is still used. Well, for right now, that is until we get the new logo in development. And I don't know if it's. Well, I'm not sure if it'll be a placeholder. Who even knows? But it might likely be replaced with the new logo recently. We'll just have to find out and see, though. But I think the new logo kind of debuted on trailers earlier before it'll be released as a full logo later on, I think. And who even knows if there will be a new fanfare or it'll be the same fanfare from the 2017 logo, the same 2017 fanfare. Who even knows? We'll just have to find out and see. And yeah, that's another thing. Warner Home Video was in my childhood. I remember seeing that classic logo on VHS and DVD releases. Actually, the realistic sky background was really cool. Which is also why in 2021, when Warner Brothers fully rebranded their logo, the sky background looked pretty realistic to almost look like the sky background from the Warner Home Video logo. Now, the 1996/1997 Warner Home Video wasn't the only one with a realistic sky background. The 1985 Warner Home Video logo did that too, which also recreates the 1937 Warner Brothers Pictures fanfare, which also occurred on early films with the 1984 logo as well as the 1937 logo as well, which would change later on over years. But then we get a new fanfare in 1999, based off of the As Time Goes By music from Casablanca. Yeah, I really like classic logos. I especially like the 1996/1997 Warner Home Video logo, since I really like the cloud background, the logo, and the music was peaceful. Since I had a bunch of DVDs with that, and a couple VHS tapes as well. Like take Teletubbies for example. I remember seeing that logo when I had Dance with the Teletubbies and Nursery Rhymes on VHS, and I even had some Leapfrog. Oh yeah, Leapfrog. I even had Leapfrog DVDs with that too. I had Letter Factory, and I even had Talking Words Factory, but I couldn't find it since now I just had Letter Factory. But then after that, I did get new copies of Letter Factory and Talking Words Factory. And that's also why I also got Code Word Caper, Math Circus, Learn to Read at the Storybook Factory. And then for Tad at Christmas Cheer, yeah, that's not distributed by Warner Home Video, actually. Some articles claim it is, but it's not really, actually. And yeah, about Letter Factory, I actually grew up with that movie as a kid. I remember those songs. Like, remember those songs where Professor Quigley would sing the letters of the alphabet? Well, the letter and its sound. Like, they would go to, you know how Tad and Quigley would go to each letter classroom of each letter of the alphabet, all the way from A to Z? Yeah, I remember watching that movie. Man, that was a huge part of my childhood. And I actually have the VHS release of that too. The same can be said for Talking Words Factory, Code Word Caper, and Math Circus, which I also have on VHS as well. Yeah. Yeah, Leapfrog. Letter Factory was a huge part of my childhood. So yeah. And, and there was also some other Leapfrog films I kind of remember watching. And it was during the Lionsgate era. And I forgot what it was. And it was something I used to watch when I was really young. I don't know what it was, but I did watch some Leapfrog films during the Lionsgate era. This was when Lionsgate distributed their DVDs of Leapfrog. But I have heard about Scout and Friends, by the way, which I actually don't have any of that. And speaking of Lionsgate DVDs, I actually used to own some Lionsgate DVDs. I had Care Bear DVDs with. I had some Care Bear DVDs distributed by Lionsgate, and some of them by Family Home Entertainment, which also is initialed as FHE. Yeah, yeah, FHE was. Yeah, that was Lionsgate's predecessor before it was folded, which which was later discontinued in 2005 when Lionsgate replaced FHE completely, which is called Family Home Entertainment. Which I actually also own Family Home Entertainment VHS tapes too. A lot of them being Care Bear ones. And yeah, Care Bears was a huge part of my childhood, by the way. I had some plushes, DVDs, VHS tapes. And back in my grandma's old house, she actually used to have a Care Bear. It was a Funshine Bear plush, but it was more like a dog toy. And the dog would just, yeah, would just play with it, sometimes rip it up. Yeah, it was actually pretty, it was all ripped up, actually. It was kind of like a dog toy, actually. I think it was a dog toy. Yeah, I think it was probably a dog toy. Yeah. And speaking of Funshine Bear, I have heard in Adventures in Care-a-Lot, Funshine Bear is basically is one of the main characters. Unlike, because Tenderheart was basically the main character in pretty much of the other series. I mean, Tenderheart was a main character in the 1985 series, Care Bear's Family, Welcome to Care-a-Lot, Care Bears and Cousins, and then Unlock the Magic is when he is still in the show, but he's not a main character. So, oh yeah, Unlock the Magic. That's another show where Tenderheart isn't the main character. And some Care Bear shows I grew up mostly was probably Care Bear's Family, probably my favorite one out of the others. And I did like the 1985 series too, as well as Adventures in Care-a-Lot. I haven't seen much Welcome to Care-a-Lot recently. Same with Care Bears and Cousins, and Unlock the Magic as well. And speaking of the Care Bears, by the way, I think this is a milestone of the Care Bears movie. Let me just calculate that. Oh, this year is also the 40th anniversary of the Care Bears movie. Yeah, yeah, this year the Care Bears movie is 40 years old. Which I actually have that movie, by the way, even a DVD release of it. I have both it on VHS and DVD. I also have New Generation on said platforms too, which is also going to be celebrating 30 years of next year. Wait, not 30 years. Hold on, let me recalculate that. Okay, yeah, 40 years. Yeah, because then in 2026, New Generation will celebrate 40 years. And yeah, so I'm actually looking forward. So yeah, and I actually remember seeing the Care Bears Big Wish movie, that trailer on a Clifford the Big Red Dog DVD I actually have. I don't know if I still have it, but it was that one. I forgot that. What was that one Clifford DVD I had? I forgot what the name of it was called. But I did know it had that trailer in it. It also occurred on some other Care Bear DVDs too, especially the Adventures in Care-a-Lot releases. And I actually watched Big Wish movie myself. I had the VHS release and DVD release. And I had Journey to Joke-a-Lot as well. Both platforms. Now, I've watched like almost every Care Bears movie, with the exception of. I know I've seen the first one, and then I've seen the second one. I did see some Adventures in Wonderland, and then I saw Big Wish movie, Journey to Chocolat, and then I saw Care Bears to the Rescue, Oopsie Does It, Giving Festival, and then I see a little bit of Share Bear Shines after that. So yeah. Alright. Well guys, looks like I'm just gonna have to stop here for now, and thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. Hope you guys had fun. And also, thank you guys very much for 20,000 subscribers. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you all for 20,000 subscribers. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out.